Hi guys, welcome back to Jeanette and her puzzles. Today I'm going to be going through all the puzzles I've done since I started my YouTube channel, and I'm going to sort them by their difficulty level. Obviously that's going to be a bit hard to do because I've done some of the puzzles with actual challenges, so they appear to be a bit harder than they would actually be. But I'm going to try to be as objective as I can and actually judge them as if I did them normally. So what I've done is I took all of the puzzles and separated them into 3 piles. So I've got the easy pile, I've got the medium pile, and then I've got the hard pile. So I'm gonna start with the easiest puzzle and then I'm gonna make my way up all the way to the hardest puzzle, which is actually the only puzzle that I've ever given up on. So yeah, in my eyes, definitely the hardest puzzle I've ever attempted to do, because I haven't actually done it. So yeah, I think it's time to begin now. The first puzzle I'm gonna start with is obviously the 50-piece Pringles puzzle, because I think the fact that it's got 50 pieces already explains that it's gonna be the easiest puzzle. This one was really easy to do. I think it took me around 3 minutes to complete it, and I wasn't even sure if I would add it on the list, but it is a puzzle and I did do it, so why not? So yeah, this is the easiest one. The next one on the list is gonna be 500-piece 3D puzzle that's called Dog Family from Toy Company, and this one was quite easy to put together as well. Even though it has a 3D effect, I thought it's gonna be a bit harder to do because of all the changes in the lines on the pieces, but it was actually quite easy to put together. I didn't struggle with it. The pieces had random cuts, so that made it a lot easier as well. So yeah, definitely one of the easiest puzzles I've done. The next one on the list is Cats on the Bookshelf from Puzzle World, I think. It's a 500-piece puzzle as well that I've already given away, so I don't have it with me. But it was quite easy to complete. I think it took me about an hour and a half, if I remember correctly. And I've done it multiple times before that, so maybe that made it easier as well, I'm not sure. But it's got quite a lot of specific colour sections, which makes it a lot easier when doing the sorting and then also when putting the puzzle together. The next one on the list is a 500-piece puzzle from Ravensburger, and this one is called An Evening Walk. I got this one from my sister and it was a challenge, so I had to do it actually without seeing the picture, which definitely made it a bit harder, but it's Ravensburger, so we know that the quality is really good. So because they have random cut pieces and really specific shapes, it's very easy to know when the fit is correct or not, which is also something that makes it really easy. With this one as well, because it's got buildings and people and some writing on it, it makes it a bit easier because you know which direction the pieces should be turned. So definitely something that helps when solving the puzzle. The next one is the first wooden puzzle I've ever done, and it's from a company called Cross Strategy Products, and I don't think it has a name on it. I just called it like a safari puzzle, I think. But yeah, I think this was the first puzzle I did for my YouTube channel, and so yeah, it's quite special for me. But anyway, if I remember correctly, I think it has a lot of ribbon grit cut pieces, and that's what made it a bit harder. And also there isn't that many colours. So the section when you've got the small pictures of lions, it was quite easy to put together. But then on the other side, when there was just like a big chunk of just yellow, it wasn't that easy to actually know where something goes. So that was already slightly harder. So the next one on the easy pile is Funny Dog Portraits by Trefl puzzle. And even though this is a 1000-piece puzzle, it was actually a really easy assembly. I did it the hard way because I basically went square by square all the way to the end. But actually if I did it normal way around, it would be a lot easier because I would have just done all of the colours first and then all of the dogs. Because doing the dogs one after the other, it made it a bit harder because I couldn't use the obvious pieces and eliminate them. But yeah, very easy puzzle. Like, I'm definitely keeping this one and I'm definitely gonna be doing it again, so yeah. And now the last one in the easy pile is World Map by King Puzzle. This one actually has a really interesting story because I've had this puzzle for a few years now, and I attempted to do it once, and because I saw all the blues, I've just literally given up on it, and I was like, oh my god, this puzzle is gonna be so hard, there's so much blue. But when I actually attempted to do it, it was so much easier than I thought. It's the same thing that I mentioned with the Paris puzzle, because this one has writing on it, And then immediately you know which direction the pieces stand, which makes it so much easier to actually put the puzzle together. Like, you wouldn't even imagine how much it helps that you know which direction the pieces are turned. And then after I've done all of the lens stuff, you've got so many lines. Like, literally, I think I counted how many pieces were like completely blank, like literally just blue, and it was 23 of them. Only 23. So once I had all the blue pieces left, I separated them in multiple piles. So I've had the pile with the black writing on it, I had a pile with the blue writing on it, and then I had pile with the lines on it and pile with absolutely nothing. So then the pile with the lines, I would also go through, and you have the straight lines, you've got the chopped lines, I don't know how to call them, you've got the red lines, you've got the curvy lines. So it's actually a lot easier than you'd think. So I just went and did the red lines first, and then I did the curvy lines, and then I did the chopped lines, and then I did the straight lines. So it actually wasn't hard at all. I really expected it to be really hard, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I think I'm gonna buy more world puzzles. So yeah, quite happy with this one. It's time to move on to the medium pile. Unfortunately, the first puzzle on the list is not with me because I already exchanged it. But it's basically Alice in Wonderland. So that's the puzzle that I did. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle from Disney, and it's got 27 hidden images in it, and that made it quite enjoyable to put together. But the picture itself, it was quite easy. It had a lot of different colored sections, so it was easier to put the puzzle together and do the sorting. But there was quite a big chunk of the tree, which was a bit harder to do. But fortunately the pieces were random cut and they were very specific, so it helped a lot putting the puzzle together. That's why it's the first one on the medium list. The next one on the list is also not with me because I exchanged that one too, but it's basically Archeological Museum of Seville, Spain. And that one was by Educa. It was a really enjoyable puzzle. The quality was really good. It was basically the museum and then the reflection of the museum in the water. It was almost like doing two 500-piece puzzles, but what made it a bit harder was the actual water at the bottom because it was so dark. It was basically like trying the pieces in and out to see which one's gonna fit. So that's something that made it slightly harder. The next one I actually have, and it's the Hogwarts puzzle from Winning Moves. So I did this one inside out, so I basically left the edge for the end. That was actually quite hard because edge was really frustrating for me to do. So I'm not actually sure how hard it would be if I did it other way around, but I think after I did all the insides I was already so exhausted that when I came to the edge I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, I was genuinely thinking to just not finish the puzzle. But a good puzzle, though. The quality is good as well. It had random cut pieces, so that was quite fun to put together. The next one on the list is another Harry Potter puzzle, and this one is actually a 1,000-piece puzzle from Ravensburger. It was really enjoyable to put together, but it started to become a bit more complicated now because we don't have a single colored section that's quite large. So there was a lot of like trying around, like even if you see with the blues and the greens. And there's also quite a lot of dark pieces. I remember there were so many dark pieces that I had to do the shape sorting quite early on in order to finish the puzzle comfortably. So the next puzzle on the list is the one I did upside down. So that's Cambridge by Gibsons. And I don't have this one with me either because I already exchanged it, trying to keep, you know, minimum number of puzzles in my house. But yeah, no, it was actually a really good puzzle that I chose to do it upside down because it had a lot of specific colored sections, which made it a lot easier to do. What really got me with this puzzle, and also the reason why it's so far up the list, is because of the trees. I remember I needed to take a break because my brain was just like, wow. It was quite hard, and you have no idea which direction the pieces should be turned, and with the trees, it's like you can't really predict what shape you're looking for in a piece because the leaves are just like, you know, all over it. You can't take a puzzle and be like, oh, it needs to have a line going through there. Like, no, it's the trees, so all the lines are everywhere. So yeah, but that's definitely something that made it quite hard. But I think I already realized since starting the channel that me and trees, we don't really go together. Yeah, I don't like them that much. So another puzzle I don't have with me is the London one that I did, and it's a 1000-piece puzzle from W.H. Smith. It had a lot of different coloured sections, which made it quite easy to put together. And then I came to the tree and the sky. And I think it took me, just for those two things, it took me as long as it did to do the rest of the puzzle. So definitely something that put this puzzle way up on the list. So going back to 500-piece puzzles. So the next one is gonna be Wooden Puzzle by Wooden City that was gifted to me. I thought it's gonna be really easy to complete. I was like, oh, 2 hours, no big deal. It actually took me twice as long, so it took me roughly about 4 hours to do it. And the reason for it is because it's got so many specific shapes that you couldn't have any sort of technique with this puzzle. It was basically like I sorted it by colours, and then that was it. I couldn't do shape sorting. The only thing I could do was actually put the animal pieces together, separated them from the other pieces. But it was basically like no shape sorting. So once I started putting the puzzle together, it was just like scanning through, and it took so long. I don't think I would want to do a 1000-piece puzzle like in this design, because it would take me forever, honestly. But it was a really enjoyable puzzle, and the animal pieces that were put in, oh my god, so enjoyable. So even though it was hard, I actually enjoyed it so much that I'm not even complaining. The next puzzle is the largest one I've done since starting my channel, and it's a 1500-piece puzzle from Trefl Puzzle, and this one's called Moritzburg Palace, Germany. What happened with this puzzle is I sorted it and I put the frame together, and I realized that there's quite a lot of pieces missing on the frame. So I was like, should I keep going with it? Should I not keep going with it? I wasn't sure, because it never happened to me. Like normally you miss 2 edge pieces or something. With this one it was almost like 15 pieces, I think. So I knew that it wasn't my bet sorting, because like it was nearly impossible that I would sort it that poorly. I realized at the end that the only pieces that were missing were actually the edge pieces. However, what made it really difficult to put this puzzle together is every time I would come across a puzzle that I couldn't find, like instantly, I started thinking, oh, maybe that's the piece that's missing. Oh, maybe this piece is also missing. So then it would be like jumping across the puzzle quite often, because I would think that the piece is missing and then I would move to another section. But the hardest part was basically the top of the sky. This came together really easily. Like the bottom half was a piece of cake. The last one on the medium list is actually a 1000-piece puzzle from High Puzzle, and it's We Want to Be Together by Rosina Wachmeister. So this puzzle I really like the shiny gold pieces, but when I started to put it together, it was actually harder than I expected it to be. So there's two things that made it quite a lot harder, and the fact that almost the entire puzzle was ribbon grit cut was one thing, and the other thing is the single color sections. Like I thought because it's got some patterns that it's gonna make it easier, but it wasn't actually. It was actually quite hard to know where something goes. So it made me a bit frustrated, if I'm honest with you, like putting it together, because I really thought it's gonna be quite easy. Still on the medium pile though, so obviously it wasn't too hard. Moving on to the hard pile now, and the first puzzle of this section is gonna be the latest one that I did, and this is Stingray from High Puzzle, and it's a panoramic puzzle of basically blue gradient, I think. I mean, people say that the gradient puzzles are really easy, so I'm not sure if this one actually counts as blue gradient. I think it could count as blue gradient, possibly. But yeah, the sky was quite hard to do, but we already know that I'm not good with sky. So I had to do a lot of shape sorting for this puzzle. So much shape sorting that, oh, it drove me mad, honestly. In a way, it was really enjoyable to put the puzzle together, but on the other side, I was like, I'm done with it. So yeah, it took me roughly about 7 hours, which is not that much longer than a normal 1000-piece puzzle. But still, the pieces were random cut, which made it so much easier. Like if it was ribbon grit cut, I would definitely give up on it. Depending how, I mean, it depends on how bad the ribbon cut would be, let's just say that. The next puzzle didn't actually make it on YouTube, but it's basically Canada Day from Stephen Will's Day to Night collection, and this one is from a brand called Prime 3D Puzzle. What happened with this puzzle, it was actually really easy. My sister did the sorting for me because she wanted to do it first, which was quite a relief. But this bottom section was really easy to make, and even all the fireworks, really simple. But then I came to the night. There was one point when I was thinking about giving up, but my sister helped me, which made it a lot more enjoyable to complete as well, because we just put some music on, you know, and then just put the pieces in. But the pieces are random cut, and they were actually so specific that you could just look at the section and would be able to find the puzzle that fits in. So that's something that actually made me keep going, because it was so specific that it made it a lot easier. So the next puzzle on the list is a 1,000-piece puzzle of London Tube Map. And this is actually a puzzle I haven't done that long ago, and I actually really enjoyed putting it together. With all the lines and stuff, you've got, you know, all the colours. It was really easy to do the sorting. It was basically rainbow sorting, which is the best. But then we had 200 something completely white pieces, and out of those 200 pieces there were like 5 pieces that weren't ribbon grit cut. I think this one took me about 9 hours. It was so long and I was getting so frustrated with it that I wasn't even following, like, tracking the time anymore. And yeah, this is actually the last puzzle that I actually completed. And now I've got some more puzzles that I'm still debating whether I should keep going with them. Oh yeah, so let me show you those ones. So, the 1,000-piece puzzle of a puzzle, right? So I started doing that one, and I actually started to record it because I wanted to do a video out of it. And after doing it for 6 hours, I wasn't even like a quarter way through. So I was genuinely getting so frustrated with it that I just put it in my board, my puzzle board, and I was like, you're gonna stay there until I calm down and decide I want to return back to you. The one thing that makes me want to keep going is the fact that it does have random cut pieces, which makes it so much easier. But I think I'm gonna have to do like shape sorting basically now. I decided I'm gonna, you know, maybe do it 1 hour a week or something, just so I can keep going with it and see. Maybe I finish it in 3 months, maybe in 6 months. I'm not really that fussed about it. I'm not gonna give up on it because it's still, I'm not gonna say it's enjoyable to put together, but the fact that it does have random cut makes it doable. Let's just say that. So you can expect to see this one around Christmas maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But the next puzzle is definitely a winner for today. I would say from my experience is the hardest puzzle I came across, because it's the only puzzle ever, I'm not just talking since I started my YouTube channel, it's the first puzzle ever that I have given up on. And this is a 1,000-piece puzzle from Playtime Puzzle, and it's called Cheetah Family. So what happened with this puzzle, I did all the sorting and I already started doing the edge. Well, I actually did the edge. And then when I started to do the insides, all of the pieces are ribbon grit cut, and what's worse than that is they're not even specific. So when I started putting it together, I knew immediately that this is not gonna go anywhere. But it's basically, I took 2 random green pieces, put them together, and they were a fit. And I was like, there's no way on earth that I would actually fit together. Come on, how many times has it happened that you basically took random first 2 pieces as that they were a fit? It's like, no. So I tried a few more pieces and they all fit together. And I was like, okay, that's it. And I literally just crumbled the edge together, put it back in the box, and I was like, I'm done with you. It's one thing that the puzzle is hard, but it's like the other thing when you don't even know when the pieces fit together, because that's like, I could be doing it forever and it's not even enjoyable because you just get frustrated with it because you don't know when the pieces are the right fit, and then you could put one piece in and it's the wrong piece, so then you're missing that piece on the other side or something. So like, there's a level, you know, of what's enjoyable and what's just plain frustrating. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Like, do you have a limit of how the puzzle should be for you to still enjoy doing it, and where does it become too much for you? I would love to know, because I don't know. But yeah, when I actually did this puzzle and it was so hard, and I just felt like I lost my puzzle mojo. So yeah, it was really weird. But yeah, no, I can still do the other puzzles, but you just need to know what you actually enjoy doing, you know. So yeah, that's a no from me. It was really good that I did this video, because I think I learned a lot about myself and the puzzles I like. So what I've learned is that I would always prefer random cut pieces over ribbon grid cut pieces, and also no trees and no single color sections. Like for me, it's really enjoyable to put the puzzles together, but when a puzzle is too hard, it kind of just sucks all the joy out of it. But because I want to keep going, like, I really don't like to start a puzzle and don't finish it, so I will just go through the frustration of just finishing it and not wanting to give up on it. So that's why I don't like getting puzzles that are too hard for me, because then I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm just finishing it for the sake of finishing it, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, if I want to make a puzzle harder, I would rather make myself a challenge instead of actually buying a really difficult puzzle. But sometimes even when you do challenges, it can turn out to be a lot easier than what you expected it to be. Like for instance, when I did the Paris one that my sister got me, that I didn't see the picture for, it was actually a really enjoyable experience, because I didn't know what the picture is. So I had to really focus on all the textures and lines on the puzzle. And I don't know how to explain, but I think every puzzler should try it once, because it gives you a completely different experience of puzzling. But yeah, it was so enjoyable. So if you want to see how I did, just check this video out next. Bye!